Well, it's Mondays, and Mondays are usually the most boring days starting the week. So today we're going to do something very, very fun. If you guys are big fans of the Yoshi wrestling scene, then you guys are always in the right channel. So I decided to do two reviews for today. The first one is from Actwres Girls dating back in August. This is their 10th anniversary show they conducted in Korakuen Hall, but it does have a very special match involved. If you guys remember, back in May, Natsupoi and Saori Anou celebrated their 10th anniversary together since they debuted. So, Actwres Girls thought it was a perfect fitting for them to celebrate. And of course, they faced the two opponents that actually wrestled in the pre-show of their self-produced show that took place back in May. So, that's going to be a lot of fun to watch. And then, of course, we move on with Stardom with their latest event in Kitakami, I believe, that took place recently. So this one has preliminary matches from other things, such as, of course, the New Blood Tag Team belt, the future belt, whatever comes around. So we'll see how that rolls around. So stay tuned for that. And as always, we'll cap up our episode as usual with some news updates to give you guys updates on what's been happening in the world of wrestling, such as what events the promotions are throwing out, who's booked, what matches are set, including developments that are happening in the world of wrestling as we speak. So, let's get ready for another episode of Deleted Wrestle Zone.
Are you ready? Get up, get up! 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 Get up, get up!
Hey everyone, welcome to Deleted Wrestle Zone, all things that is pro wrestling with AEW, NXT, New Japan Pro Wrestling, TNA, the National Wrestling Alliance, various promotions, wrestlers, matches, and championships. I am your host, J-Rod here. So, if you are new to the channel, welcome. This is a channel we do a lot of pro wrestling reviews from various promotions, not only here in the United States, but also in Japan, Mexico, Canada, Europe, the UK. Anywhere in the world, pro wrestling is not as big, but it continues to grow. We also, of course, do discussion videos, talk about various topics such as the wrestlers themselves, the promotions, factions, storylines, whatever we want to talk about. We also, of course, do more news updates. If certain information was unable to be on this episode, we can either put it on the next one or on a separate video by itself. We also, of course, do real-time news updates to keep you guys on alert if something has happened in the world of wrestling that needs to be addressed ASAP. We also, of course, got the Unagi Sayaka Watch and various other cool wrestling content as well. So if you like what you see, please subscribe to us and click on that subscribe button. You'll be getting a lot of daily reviews and other cool wrestling content as well. But if you like this episode, please give us a like on the like button or a nice comment in the description down below. Now, enough of the jibber jabbers, let's get to it. So, let's begin with Actwres Girls. Actwres Girls. Wow, it's been a while, or who knows how long I've been in. So if anybody who's not familiarized with this promotion, Actwres Girls, this is not your typical type of Yoshi promotion. This is more of like, they follow a bit of the theater type from my understanding. If for those who don't know, this is the same promotion where wrestlers like, of course, Tam Nakano, Natsupoi, Saori Anou, Naokakuta, Maika Ozaki, Tai Hamna, Miyuki Takase, the members from Colors, Mai Sakurai, Waka, Momokoko, and a few others actually participated. Initially, this promotion doesn't have any wrestlers who are in fact exclusive, but they can leave on their own accord if they want to. That's from. But it's a pretty good show. They do have some good talent, not to mention. But this event is a very special one because it's the 10th anniversary of the promotion itself. This event happened back in August 13th, and of course the biggest one is the surprise appearance of Natsupoi and Saori Anou. For, like I mentioned, they were part of the promotion long before that, and don't forget, she did invite these ladies to do the little performance in, of course, at their 10th anniversary show back in May. So I think this is more like, hey, we did you a favor, can you do us a favor? That sort of thing. So I think that's what it was. But I did enjoy that. But seeing this, I thought, you know what? Let's just do this one because it's been a while. I'm not sure if I have any subscribers who are in fact into Actwres girls, but if you guys wish me to do more of this, just let me know. Leave a comment down below. Now, they did the usual performance thing, but the one thing I was looking for is for them to perform Love Riddle. So for those who asked me that, yes, I love that song. Love Riddle is one of my absolute favorite ones. Now, our first match, we have a bit of a tag team. We have Chi Ayoba, hopefully I pronounced that right because it's kind of weird, and Asaku Miya. They take on Yui Tenshio and Naru. A very interesting thing about this, I don't know, I was like, if you guys ever seen like how there were moments where we see Taguchi running back and forth through the ring ropes, one of the girls, I think it was Chi, who actually was doing that. I'm like, what is she doing that for? Until it made sense that she was just doing that to build momentum to do her thing. But I thought it was a pretty good one. But the one thing that was almost messed up is that Yui accidentally misfired onto Naru, almost costing the match, but in the end it was in fact Yui who picked up the win by pinning Chi. However, Naru was getting in the mic, getting in her face, telling her like, I'm assuming because of that misfired, well, she got shoved. And I don't blame Yui how she feels. I mean, things happen, but they shouldn't be taking it too seriously. But that's exactly what happened. Now, next match, we have a three-way tag team match. We have Ryo, Toiro Hina, hopefully I pronounced that right, versus Hinata Senya and Nanane Toki versus Kairen and Maru. So, yeah, it's a very interesting matchup. I mean, it gets crazy because it's a three-way. You don't know how things are going to roll up. Do I know any of these girls? Nope. But I like how Namani Togi comes out with the bass guitar, just jamming out earlier in their entrance. That's about it. But yeah, it was a real interesting match. But in the end, it was Ryo who picked up the win onto Togi, and just like that, 1, 2, 3, done. Excuse me. Next up, we have our singles match. We have Kyoka Aiwa versus Haraku Ishikawa. Don't know much about them. The match was pretty good. I mean, it was a very good, solid singles match. But I wasn't too sure how this was going to go. Like I said, I'm not too familiarized with these girls whatsoever. But this match ended with some sort of a slam or something by Iwa, and just like that, 1, 2, 3, it was done. Next up, we have Anri and Arisa Nagai taking on Nene Arahara and Ayane Iri. I am familiarized with Ayane Iri. I have seen her. I'm a fan of her, not gonna lie. So yeah, so I have seen her plenty of times. But yeah, the match itself was pretty good. I have to say, I did like, of course, Enri. She's really impressive. But she was the one who picked up the win onto Nene, and just like that, 1, 2, 3, it was done. I have to say, I like what I was watching. Now, our next match is a singles match for the Actwres Girls King of the Ring Entertainment title. I don't know what that means, King of the Ring. I mean, there are women in this match. Why did he call it that? But they could have called it Queen of the Ring. I mean, it would have been a much safer topic. But anyway, I have to say there was some good moments, but um, you can tell in the match that the current we had Nagisa Shiozuki, who was the challenger, and the champion Sakura Mizashima. I have to say it was a pretty amazing match. I think there was some good moments where you would have presumed there would have been a title change, but no. But it was Mizashima somehow was able to pick up the win when she applied the Northern Light suplex, and just like that, 1, 2, 3, it was over. And of course, she put out a promo. I don't know what she was saying, but she was talking to, of course, to Shiozuki, and I don't know exactly what they were talking about, but I'm sure it was a heartwarming talk. So yeah, so we'll leave things as that. Now our next match is the one I've been expecting. We have Yukina Uehara and Natsuki versus Saori Anou and Natsupoi. Now this match was planned out back in May, in that 10th anniversary that Saori Anou and Natsupoi produced recently. For those who did not know, Yukina Uehara and Natsuki were involved in a pre-show match. This match led to who was going to face both Natsupoi and Saori Anou for this particular event, and now the message was clear. But I have to say, there's like some similarities between Natsuki and Natsupoi, but it was a pretty good match. I mean, it's great to see that they were still doing the whole thing, and I'm sure it was pretty fun. But of course, many people would get behind Saori Anou Natsupoi since they're more recognized in the Yoshi world. But however, it was Natsupoi that picked up the win with her off the turnbuckle. I don't know what she calls that one. I forgot. I think it was the fairy gift. I'm not sure. But yes, she did that on Natsuki, and just like that, 1, 2, 3, it was over. And of course, you cannot leave the ring without a post-match promo from Saori Anou Natsupoi. And of course, guess who was joining them, and guess who was playing their seconds? Former Actwres girls, ladies, Maika Ozaki and Tai Hamna, who many of you don't know this. Together, they're also known as a tag team known as Space Op. And it's great to see other former members of Actwres girls even participating, like to help out their fellow friends, from their Actwres girls days. And it's great. I think some of you probably say we should have seen Tam Nakano in it. Yeah, I mean, if she was still wrestling, yeah, we would have loved to see her. But yeah, that's how it is. Now our main event is for the Actwres girls tag team belts in a Act Games final point tag team match that were vacant. We have, of course, Riko Fukunaga and Marino Saihara. Now, Marina Saihara is the current top champion of Actwres girls, and the face Act Yasukawa and Mari, or as we know her, Mari Sakimoto. They're mostly the heel faction, and these two ladies have been teaming up a lot. They do have some amazing heel tactics. You can tell, like, they are determined to prove that they are dominant. And of course, this is about the tag team belts, and that's what it was. But in the end, it was Mari who picked up the win with a buzzsaw kick onto the champion herself, Saihara, and just like that, 1, 2, 3, it was over. Now, I don't know for sure exactly if they ever did it, but because Mari was able to pin onto Saihara, I wouldn't be surprised if she challenged her for the top belt of Actwres girls. So hopefully that's the case, but if not, then that's my wishful thinking. Like I said, I don't follow Actwres girls that much, but I decided to do this one. But like I said, if you guys want me to review this show, more of these events, then let me know in the comments below if you want me to do that, and I definitely would do it. So I think that's pretty much it. So let's move on to our last review, Stardom. All right, Stardom in Kitakami, and this happened this past Sunday at the Shunriku Kitakami. I don't know what Shunriku means, but yes, that's the name of the venue where it happened. Our first match, we have EXV, Ryan, Hanako, and Maka Tsukiyama taking on the Cosmic Angels, more specifically Sayaka Kurara, Aya Sakura, and Natsupoi. Now, this particular match is a bit of a preliminary match between both Hanako and Aya Sakura. As you all know, recently in the Korakuen Hall event, Aya Sakura issued a challenge against Hanako, who just won the future belt against Hina. Now, this match is personal between these two because, as you all know, these two ladies they debuted back in March in 2023. So it makes a fitting story that, of course, Aya Sakura is determined to prove her worth, that she is stronger, but Hanako has been showing dominance ever since her growth, So that's kind of sets the whole thing. But the real question, who gets the real victory here and gets the momentum between these two? I mean, I'm sure that Waka would have used her hip attacks and all that, Hanako her strength. But in the end, Sakura was able to pick up the win onto Hanako, and just like that, 1, 2, 3, it was over. So that's how things led between them. But of course, the post-match promo, Sakura had some words to say to Hanako, and of course, the back and forths. So you know how that rolls up. So we'll see what happens down the road between these two. Our next match, we have a bit of a trios match. We have Kikyo Furusawa versus Momo Kogo versus Mei Seira. Now, of course, two wrestlers are high speedsters in this match. I don't know if Furusawa has the capability of that. But the one thing that was interesting is that Momo Kogo wasn't paying attention what was happening in the ring. She was so worked up because she was about to take out Furusawa. Mei Seira was able to pin her by applying the Maestral, and Momo Kogo was unaware. Well, Mei Seira picked up the win. 1, 2, 3, it was over. So she's pretty much upset. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if she would challenge her for the high speed belt. So we'll see what happens till then. Next up, we have a bit of an interesting tag team match. We have Emma Maishima teaming up with Koguma and versus Rane Agame and Azuki. Now remember, Azuki issued a challenge for the CML Japan Women's Championship, currently in the possession of Koguma. So that leads to this, you can say, is a preliminary match. So the real question, how this was going to proceed. I mean, things would have been easier, but in the end, I was surprised that, of course, that it was Rana Yagami that picked up the win when she applied a submission onto Maishima, and just like that, Maishima tapped out, leaving her like that. So you probably can guess that Azuki, in this particular moment, picked up the momentum that she needs. Now, our next match, we have the members of Hate, consistent of Momo Watanabe and Rina, taking on Yuri Him and Sayaida. Well, as you all know, Hanan is out for a while due to the fact that, she got injured in her match after that kick from Koguma in the face. And B. Priestley is not going to be around for the remainder for a while. She's going to be out. I don't know where she's going. But yes, that's exactly what happened. But of course, when it comes to Hate, you know that they have their usual tactics, using weapons, soften their opponents out, up and outside. But in the end, it was Rina that picked up the win with a double knee drop onto Yuri Him. And just like that, 1, 2, 3, it was over. Next match, we have Mi Vida Loca, consistent of Akira Kuragani and Bozilla, taking on Neo Genesis Miyu Amasaki and Starlight Kid. Now, Azumi, as you know, she is out for a while. She is, of course, as you know, she's not been the same since losing the New Japan Strong Women's belt to Kamitani, but we'll see how things will roll from there. But however, you ask yourselves, when it comes to Bozilla, how the hell are you going to deal with her? She is a big, strong, powerful wrestler, and she knows it. But in the end, Starlight Kid was able to separate her away from Kuragani when Amasaki applied the Tenzai, and just like that, 1, 2, 3, it was over. Our next match, you can say, is our main event, and also a preliminary match. We have Hate, consistent of Konami, Raka, and Natsuko Tora, taking on Godzai, consistent of Lady C, Amisuri, and Shuri. Now, of course, it's no secret that Shuri will love nothing more to get revenge for Konami for her betrayal she did to her last year. And of course, that's pretty much it. But don't forget, guys, Ami Sourei and Lady C issued a challenge for the Goddesses of Stardom tag team belts that currently Natsuko Tora and Ruka has. So you ask yourselves, who's going to pick up the momentum for that? I mean, of course, we know, like I mentioned, Hate likes to use tactics, use weapons. They like to soften their wrestlers up. But in the end, it was Shuri who picked up the win by applying a submission onto Ruka, and just like that, it was over. But of course, Shuri decided to pick up the mic and talk about certain things, not to mention supporting her own teammates who are making a play for the tag belt. And I'm sure this is something that Shuri is happy to hear because, of course, I mentioned this before. I would love to see Lady C pick up a championship belt. She hasn't won one at all since she debuted, but hopefully that wish will come true for me. So can't wait to see it. But as of right now, we are officially done with Stardom. Let's move on with our last and final thing, news updates. Okay, so welcome to our news update. So let's begin, as always, with some upcoming events. We do have majority of it of GCW updates. As you know, on October 4th, they will be making their debut in Anchorage, Alaska for the Last Frontier. Two matches have been mentioned that will be participating. The first one, we have one called Manders taking on Drew Parker, and then we have Marcus Mathers taking on Uran West. I don't know who that guy is, but that's pretty much it. Now, as you all know, they'll be making their 2-day show in Atlantic City for Fight Club. Now, on night 1, which is October 11th, they announced that KJ Orzo, formerly known as Fuego del Sol, will take on Man Like the Reese. And then on night 2, which is the 12th of October, we do have an interesting tag team match. We have Bear Dozer, consistent of Bear Bronson, formerly of AEW, and Matt Tremont. They take on Shotzi Blackheart and Emerson Jane. And then finally, we have for the Chicago promotion, Black Label Pro with Hacksaw that takes place on the 4th of October. 3 matches have been mentioned. Jake Manning versus Stone Ambrose, Layla Hirsch versus Eli Ism, and then of course we have Freya the Slayer versus Layla Hall. So that's pretty much what we have for upcoming events. Now let's move on to some developments. Here. In Pro Wrestling Noah, it was announced that Go Shiozaki, as you may know, he was been known as Noah, the ace of Pro Wrestling Noah for a long time, and he was a disciple of the late Misawa, who is the founder of Noah. It was reported that as of September 30th, his contract will expire, and he will be no longer in the promotion. Apparently, he decided not to renew it. It's still unclear why he made the decision. Hopefully, some answers will be made. Now, many of you may have heard this already. Apparently, a very interesting thing happened. Apparently, Israel is upset with WWE. Now, I know that the subject on that matter is mixed because of what's been going on, most specifically in Israel, when involving the whole annihilation of Gaza. But for a minute, please, let's put that aside and try to address what really is going on in this part of this news update. Apparently, Israel were upset with WWE because, as you know, there's that collaboration between NXT versus TNA called Invasion. Unfortunately, this event will take place on October 7th. Now, some of you probably question, why is that a problem? Well, for those who don't know, we're about to hit the 2-year mark of the anniversary when Israel was blindly attacked by Hamas, which, of course, they are a terrorist organization from certain people. Others are saying the freedom fighters that killed hundreds of Israelis when they were caught off guard breaking into a fence. And it kind of puts them at ease. Now, let's put that whole thing with Israel and Gaza a bit. we need to ask ourselves a question here. How many fans of Israel are big fans of WWE? I mean, I would have said they probably would be a lot, you know. And I don't blame them for feeling this way. But you got to remember, October 2nd is also a historical day for everyone. Here in the States, we have some historical dates that we never forget. Of course, the bombing in Pearl Harbor back on December 7th, 1941. I wasn't born at that time, but I did read the stories and seen documents on that. And of course, the one event that I lived in, which is 9/11, September 11th, the attacks of the Twin Towers. I know where I was during that time. I was in school, and the entire time we've been watching the news. So those are historical days that here in the States we always will remember. Israel has that same moment on October 7th. And I don't blame them for feeling that way, and I don't blame them because of the title it mentioned, because it was an invasion, what happened to them. And I'm sure we're going to have different views, but let's put that aside on that, okay, guys? And just treat it, okay, that if Israelis are fans of wrestling, cool. No harm, no fuss. Now, some interesting developments here. Many of you know this that we talked about. Jazmyn Nyx made a decision to leave WWE because apparently they offered her a deal, but it was not cutting her off financially. Bully Ray and Booker T had some things to say regard of that. Let me pull that up for all of you. Okay, this is what Bully Ray said when he reacted about it. If Jazmyn Nyx would have trained at the wrestling school, wrestling would have been her passion and her dream. She most likely would have stayed and put the grind in and out. One thing about wrestlers, they will accept the grind to chase the dream. But you get pulled from a soccer, MMA, football, whatever, it's not the same. You don't have the burning sensation in you, that burning passion. Like Stephanie Vakir, who told me that wrestling was her whole nourishment when she didn't have enough food to eat. That doesn't burn Jazmyn Nyx, so it's not the same mental state, that same pit of your stomach grind where you need to do it and need to make it. So yes, Jazmyn Nyx, for those who don't know, she was originally a soccer player. She was never into the wrestling. And of course, Bully Ray, I have to agree on his level. You have Stephanie Vakir, who's been nourished to become a pro wrestler since when she was young, and that was her drive. That's what she get it. And Jazmyn Nyx does not have it because, in a way, it's like they're not paying her enough. And I get what Bully Ray is saying, and I totally understand what he was talking about. Now, Booker T had some things to say regarding about that with her, stating about the $75,000 is not a lot of money. Now, this is what he had to say. So stay with me, boys and girls. My thing is, you got to respect, you got to understand where she's coming from. She was probably making some money over what doing the soccer thing. Probably was making some money in the modeling deal also that she was doing. I respect that. The thing is, also, you got to look at yourself. How much time had Jazmyn Nyx been on television? If I'm not mistaken, she thinks that she had 4 knee surgeries, and I think she had a broken nose. That's not a lot of time, not in the gym trying to figure out what to do. Not saying she wasn't quick learner or anything like that, but I'm gonna tell you right now, injury is your worst enemy in the business. Time off is your worst enemy in the business. It is true. It really truly is. So for someone like Jazmyn Nyx, who hadn't gone on a real run, to have 4 knee surgeries, an NXT program, 4 knee surgeries is gonna just be anybody's back and gonna screw your money a little bit. I don't care if it's football, basketball, baseball, football. You get injured, you see there's gonna be signs next year to do the same contract. You better wish you were Tom Brady or someone like that. Otherwise, they're gonna be looking to cut you or cut that money somehow. So understand, Jazmyn Nyx. I don't know how much money she was making, but I know whose contract starts at a base rate. I don't know that. $75,000 these days is not a lot of money to a lot of people. Yeah, so I don't. So you gotta. So I think Booker T, what he is trying to indicate is this. Yes, it's $75,000 doesn't seem a lot to a lot of people. I mean, to me, that's a lot of money. I mean, I don't make that type of salary at all, and I know this. I know how much money I make, every year in my main job I do. But $75,000 to me, that's a lot of money from me. But for Jazmyn Nyx, she felt like she would have earned more. And Booker T feels like, I get that you were making more money outside, but it is what it is in pro wrestling. And I truly understand that. Now, some bad news. Many of you had know that Hologram, as you probably know, is going to be out of action due to an injury. But however, what does this mean for the whole thing with El Clon, which is, of course, an evil version of Hologram? Well, according to sources from Wrestling Observer, that the entire thing is now going to be put on pause until he comes back. And I have to say, it's a very interesting thing. They're not going to put this in the shelf. They're just going to pause it until he comes back. And it's interesting. Now, another development here that's very surprising, Edris Enofe, is apparently that he announced his departure from WWE. For those who don't know, Edris Enofe was trained here in San Diego, California, during the a wrestling academy known as Level Up, which it no longer exists. I think they were known as San Diego Pro Wrestling Academy. But yes, and this is what he had to say that he posted. As of today, I'm officially leaving WWE. This decision I have thought about for a very long time. I'm going to trust my gut on this. With that being said, for the past 4 years, I have the chance to meet and work with incredible people. For the wrestlers, to the referees, the creative teams, the medical staff, and of course, all the coaches who put in so much time and effort into making me better, and for that I will always be appreciated. And of course, to all the fans who have supported me through all these years, thank you. So yeah, so he's going to be leaving. Now, it's still unclear what prompted him. Hopefully we'll get an answer to that. Now, many of you remember the Blade. Apparently, the Blade was in fact out of action for a while due to an injury he obtained last year in September. He just foretold on Talking Shop podcast that Tony Khan paid for his back fusion surgery and physical therapy. And this is what he said. I had a back fusion, spinal fusion on September 10th, 2024. It's been a year now. I'm getting close to going back to the doctors, getting cleared. AEW took care of my surgery. They took care of my physical therapy. They have been taking care of me like over a year now. I'm really, really grateful for that job. So, yes, folks, Tony Khan is the type of person. Now, some of you say, really, Tony Khan is that type of person? There is one guy who actually went through the same thing, and that is, of course, Benny Kuntepe, who many of you know him as B-Boy. For those who don't know, B-Boy was going to make his AEW Dark debut during the Jacksonville days, but he got injured, and they took care of him. Even though when he was unable to travel, he stayed at the hotel that was paid for by Tony Khan himself. And, of course, Eddie Kingston had to check up on him a lot. And that's how AEW is. They take care of each other, And we ask, and this is what one of the things we talk about with WWE. Like, they normally don't, pay for the surgery. They have the wrestlers do it. But that's how it is. So, yeah. So anyway, finally on our last development here, many of you know this Yoshi wrestler, formerly named Sunny. Apparently, it was announced that she'll be leaving the Pro Wrestling Evolution as a referee. And this is what they said. This is the statement coming from them, from Pro Wrestling Evolution. We regret to inform you that Sunny, referee, who joined on March 31st, 2023, has been active as an affiliate referee. She'll be leaving at the end of September of 2025. We would like to express heartfelt gratitude to everyone who warmly supported Sunny referee. Additionally, we wish referee to continue success in her future endeavors. Yes, for those who don't know, Sunny started out as a wrestler, but due to the fact of her injury, it put her down for good and retire. But she's decided to stay with the promotion, and she started refereeing. And I have to say, she has done a fantastic job in it. She even posted out a something on her social media on X. So this is what she had to say. As of today, I left Evolution, and I would love to express my heartfelt gratitude for all the support I received thus far. Moving forward, I will continue my activities as a freelancer, but also continue to serve as a referee at Evolution events. So I kindly ask for your continuing support. My heart will be with the family. So yes, so even though she's been has been refereeing as an Evolution, she's gonna serve as a referee outside of Evolution. She will referee with them, but she probably will be making appearances in other promotions. And I have to say, Sunny is gonna be sadly missed because I know how close she was with, mostly with Chi Chi, because they were really good friends, and not to mention they hang out a lot. And I'm sure this is something she wants to do, and I hope we see her as a referee somewhere in the other Yoshi promotions. I don't know where she's gonna do, but can't wait. So as of right now, I think we are done with our news updates and everything else. Let's call it a day. Well, I hope everybody enjoys this episode. Coming up, as you know, we have NXT. They will be entering their fallout after, of course, No Mercy. And of course, not to mention, we will be entering a bit of a war between both NXT and TNA. So that's something we definitely going to be paying attention close enough. But we'll stay tuned for that. But as of right now, we are officially done. Until then, I'll say this, that I will see you guys in the next DWZ time, same DWZ channel. I must bid all of you adieu. So, goodbye, and have a nice day. Bang.